All right. Um, Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Stockyard Industrial League. I'm going to set this up a little bit better. All right. So, welcome to this live video. Sorry for the delay. About like 18 minutes late here. I ran into some difficulties. I obviously haven't done an op session in a while, so this is the number one thing you don't want to do is rushing to get things done before an op session. But I realized that I hadn't cleaned the track yet when I was doing some ballasting, so I had to do that and clean out the switches. And then the other thing that I realized is, unfortunately, my proto throttle that I really like using is broken because it's got a little cracked gear here with the whistle. And so I've had a cracked gear before and they took care of it. I just had to send it back in and they fixed it for free. So I'll just have to do that again. So obviously if I was having a real op session, I would get that done before I held the op session because that's really my only radio throttle. So, but I have a backup. So we're going to be using the old NCE brick throttle today. But since we're going to be switching back in Bellevue, I had to get some extra cable. So I had to dig into my parts from back when I wired the DCC, like, I don't know, when I switched from Digitrax to NCE, that was like, what, 4 or 5 years ago or something like that. So it's been a while. Okay, so here we are. Let me just go through what we're going to do today. Basically, what we're going to do is switch Bellevue. If you watched the video that I posted yesterday, we switched Albright, the trailing points, and then we're going to do the facing points next week. So what we're going to go through today is Bellevue. So I've got my conductor work here. Okay, so I've got my conductor clipboard. Now bear with me today. I've got 4 roles for myself, and usually as layout host, I only have one, and that is the industry foreman or representative. So today I'm doing 4 things. I'm the industry representative, I'm the videographer for this YouTube live video, I'm the conductor, and I'm the engineer. So if I make any mistakes, if I forget anything, very sorry. Just bear with me. All right, so put my conductor cap on. Got my timetable. I think I know this by heart, so I'm just going to leave that there. Okay, so last week we pulled the flat car and from the yard, and we also pulled these 2 covered hoppers from the yard, and then we placed them there at the transload track. Wait, oh, did not pull that hopper. Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself. Okay, and then we pulled that TP&W hopper that we then set at the yard. So this is what we got to do today. So we switched Albright last week. Today we got to do all this here at Bellevue. So this is the work that JMRI set up for us. So we've got these cars in the yard that we got to pull and set out. We've got a respot from the off spot, so that'll be cool. And then after that, we're going to come back to the yard, and then we will be able to switch Albright. When I switch this myself, I like to break it up, and so that I go from the yard to Albright, back to the yard, and then to Bellevue, back to the yard, and then Albright, back to the yard. It's a small enough space. I think that works out really well. When crews operate here, I tell them it's up to them. They can pull out a long train if they want to and work the whole thing. It's designed, you can work it all the way back. I kind of like the yard moves, so that's how I do it. It's kind of fun because it gives the crew a little flexibility to do what they want. So, okay then, let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to go ahead and use the same locomotive that we were using last weekend, or last session, which is this SPSF B23 Super 7. I really like that one. I like all the locomotives that I have, all 3 of them, so it's it's hard to choose, but we'll just go with this one. And let's see, what else was I going to mention before we get started? Oh, a word about the tracks. We tested them, when I did the last session, I was switching Albright, things worked great, but then I ballasted, and so you never know if you might have some weird issues come up. So that's the fun of operating, right? Okay, so let's get going here. I'll take you with me. I've got a very long extension on my camera, and so I'm hoping that with the combination of the camera, the long extension, and the what else was I going to say? Oh, being plugged into the network, and we just upgraded our internet a couple months ago. So hopefully this video is pretty decent quality. We'll see. And I'm hoping that you can hear me okay. The microphone is up here on the video or the camera. And so I'm going to do my best to talk into it. I don't have a lapel mic. I'd really like to get one. They're a little pricey, so maybe for Christmas. Okay. So that's just want to get those things out of the way. Oh, before we start, why don't I give you a little bit of a, not a tour, but just I'll show you where we're going to be working today, so you kind of have an idea. So there's our locomotive we're going to be using. So we're going to come out of Albright. I just added these new track diagrams last night. All right, and now we're looking down towards Bellevue. Let's see. I've got my monitor back there so I can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm using a webcam instead of my phone. So that's hopefully that'll help make things a little better. Okay, so what was I doing? Let's see. Let's go down. Oh, I was going to pick up, I found a corn stalk on the floor. Where'd you go? I'll get it later. All right. Anyways, I guess I'll find that later. My daughter and I were working on the farm scene over here. You can see the pile of corn that we got going here. What happened is we kind of miscalculated. I thought I had enough corn to fill this space, and I didn't. See, am I showing it right? And so, we took all this out. We're going to fill it in here with this corn, and then just like cut that out, and then I don't know, just make a little bit more open space. You know, it'll be more room that you can envision the tractor turning around to plant the next row of corn. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to come into this siding here. This is Gemini siding right over here, right there. And then we're going to grab our shoving caboose. This is the first time I'm trying this operation where I've got the, I think that's as far as we can go, where I've got the caboose on the on a track here staged for this, and then we're going to use the Fred until we get here. So we got a switch Bellevue leader back there. We got Payless lumber. We got Ash Grove, which is going to take a bit of work. We got to make sure Ash Grove knows we're coming so they get their switcher out of the way. And then we're going to cross the creek, Papillion Creek here, and switch DPC Industries. So that's what we got in store today. So I just want to give you an overview before we get started so you know where we're going. Okay, now let's pull out of the yard. I'm going to get one of my fancy switch sticks. So I made my own switch sticks, for those of you who don't know. These are actually like old radio tools. They're just plastic like screwdrivers. And then I just like filed it to a point and then try to flatten a little bit of an edge so you got a grip on the knuckle. A little hard with the bridge in the way. Come on. There we go. All right. I'm going to grab old Fred here. Of course. Okay. My Freds are, I don't know if you can see this, just little tiny like red metal connectors that I then glued a plastic coupler onto. So they just sit right onto the thing and you can move them around. Okay, so we're going to put Fred back here on the, let it ride on the locomotive for now. So this is obviously a live video. I'm not doing any editing, so there's bound to be mistakes, so you get to see everything. Okay, I'm going to, so first we need to do a little bit of yard switching. Let's pull forward. So apologies if it gets a little boring for you, but I've always wanted to do kind of a live session. And so I just thought this would be fun. You get to see the whole thing. And again, though, I'm not doing the entire layout, just Bellevue, so it's not as long. But Bellevue does take a significant amount of time to work, right? Okay, what do we need to do? Let's go ahead and put Fred out for a minute. Okay, so we need to grab that Western car. I also kind of want to put things in order. where they're going. Okay, what we need to do is, here's what I'm looking at. I got the yard back there. So I need, you know what? Why is it? It looks like when I'm watching this, it looks like everything's backwards. Like, is my shirt backwards too? Let me see if I can fix that. Huh. Well, I don't think I can. Oh, you're gonna change that. Dang it. No, it looks backwards. It's fine, not backwards. Oh, good. I'm glad somebody commented. Okay, thank you. It's backwards for me, so that's why it's weird. All right, thanks for commenting on that it's not backwards. I've been on video conferences, obviously a lot this year, a lot more than I usually get to do for work. And sometimes it'll show as backwards on my screen, like when I'm looking at myself, but then other people tell me the same thing, it's not backwards. So I don't know what to believe. You know, it's so weird. Okay, onward. So what I'm looking at is we need to grab these cars. And so I need to set this one out, but I also need that gondola. So I'm going to grab this SPSF gondola first. Then I'm going to throw this Western car on this track and then grab these. So that's my plan. Here we go. Yeah, and like I didn't mention this, but feel free to make any comments as you're watching this. I may not get to them during the videos since like I mentioned, I'm doing like 4 jobs at once. But after the video, I'll definitely get to them, and I'll try to address any questions like before I end the video. I kind of miss not having my photo throttle. Oops. Okay, making sure the brake works. But you know, this throttle's not bad either, so okay. And excuse the mess back here. I haven't finished cleaning up from when I was ballasting, so that's why you've got this random stuff back here. It's a lot cleaner than it was before, believe it or not, but still needs a little bit of work. A little bit of cleaning. After I do finish up that farm scene, I want to get to this transload and depot area, so that's my plan. Oh, I need to grab a set of keys. Turn off the bell. I'm gonna unlock all these turnouts that I was using. A note about my turnout locks, if anyone's, oh, somebody already unlocked that. I've got some, what do you call them, like riffraffs that come around here. You know how there's like, in an urban area, you're always susceptible to like weirdos and creeps and gangs and whatnot. So I've got my own problems. They're little kids that come around and play with stuff. So, okay. So sometimes I'm like, oh, these are already unlocked. Somebody was messing around with the property. But a note about my locks. So these are for, I basically have locked switches for any turnouts from the main line. And so that's another thing with the track changes over here. I've got to adjust those a little bit. But so the rule is the conductor needs to unlock it basically before you switch the turnout that when to line it other than for the main, if that makes sense. So as we go along, you'll see how it works. All right, so this Western car goes to standard distribution in Albright. So we're not switching that right now. So we're going to throw it over with the other cars that go to standard distribution. Now, why was it on a different track today? It's because it came through probably the Union Pacific instead of the SPSF. So that's how these cars were set up. So we get to do a little bit of yard switching, not a ton. I don't mind a little bit. Personally, I don't really like yard switching. I've done it at other layouts before, and it's really boring to me, but shuttling cars back and forth. I like the kind of switching that when you're serving an industry. But, sorry, my shoe is untied. Stop. But I realize it's inevitable to do some yard switching when you're working the layout, and so I decided to add a little bit. Okay, now this is going to be interesting. How do I get to this car? I'm going to cheat and do these with my hands. It's always fun to have bridges in the way. Oops, now I just get rid of this guy. Okay. Okay, now break off. Okay. So now we've got our gondola. We'll connect to those 4 cars and we'll be good to go. Head out of the yard. All right. So again, sorry for starting late, but thanks for anybody who is waiting. Thanks for holding with me. Okay, so let me wait until we get these cars. So for those of you who don't know, the SPSF B23 Super 7 that I just finished like a month ago, it's a backup locomotive. So basically it comes in, that was way too fast. Sorry about that. It basically comes in and replaces the Jeep 9 if it needs some service work. And so it comes from Argentine and Kansas City. All right. Okay, so we got our train here. So these 4 cars are the ones we're going to take out. Let me show you here. So, okay, we got that BN hopper. We got the DWC box car. We've got the Western Pacific box car and the SPSF gone. And that's it. That's all we need. Those are the 4, if you can see that. And those are the 4 that we place in spots here in Bellevue. Okay. So the first stop is or I should say the next stop will be Gemini Siding. And we're going to run around our train and then we'll start switching. So make sure we got all our tools with us. I'm going to bring a couple of these flags. I don't have like red fusees yet, so I'm just going to use these old restaurant flags. Oops. That's why I'm having such a hard time. It's backwards on my screen, so I'm having a really hard time figuring out how to pan this thing. Okay. Oh. We put the thread on the back of the train. Ooh, that was close. Okay, conductor's gonna switch the traffic. Let's put this here. I need to redo that street, obviously, but that makes it looks a little bit better. Okay, I don't think we need to stop by the yard office over here. So I'll just blow on through. But we are going to wait there and pick up our conductor. I'm going to keep the bell on in case anybody's rail fading at the depot. The South Omaha terminal operates this on the Stockyard industrial lead, and it's pretty friendly to rail fans, so as you might expect. Okay. Oh, we switch that back to street traffic. Oh. And I should put my bridge back now that I'm done ballasting underneath it. Okay. See, like I said, if I was doing a real op session with people over, I would be a lot better prepared, believe me. Okay, here we go. Eyeball. Let's see how fast this thing goes. We can go all the way to our crossing. Then I'll switch stick, pencil, and we got keys, flags. Okay, I'm all set. No wonder the conductor needs a caboose. There's so many things to take along. I'm going to start slowing down for the crossing up here. Bring my tethered throttle with me. Since it's all radio, I don't have any of those plugs along the layout. I got rid of my NCE radio throttles since I figured I'd just use the proto throttle receiver. Okay, see the crossing up there. So this crossing is manually operated. I think I'm going to keep it that way because I kind of like having this challenge of, you have to stop here, the conductor comes up. It's just a very laid back railroad, so I kind of want to keep it that way. All right, got the crossings on. Make sure to wait 20 seconds before we start crossing. Okay. Okay, and then our conductor switches it back off. I'm going to add a 5th title to my responsibilities today, and that's the rail fanning. This is a nice shot right here with the town. I like it. Okay, what can I say? I just love the Kodachrome. All right, so I'm going to pull this train into the siding. So let's unlock our switch. Throw the switch. All right, go forward. Take the brake off. All right, now I'll bring you up here so you can see what's going on. I call this Gemini sighting, for those of you who don't know, because it's related to the Air Force presence in Bellevue. We've got the Gemini program was a program largely started and supported by the Air Force back in the 60s. And Bellevue does have a Gemini park, which is, this park is loosely modeled after. And so I call this Gemini sighting. And I figure it's perfect because Gemini is twins and the sighting is 2 tracks. So there you go. All right, we're all wrapped up here. Let's see what I can do. Fix that. How's the view? Let's see. That looks good. Speaking of the Gemini program, I feel like doing a tethered spacewalk here. I got to keep track of all my cords. Okay, turn that bell off. Yeah. All right, where's my stuff? Let's go get it. All right, so what we're going to do is, hope we can see this. We're going to shove into that caboose. So I just have to run the locomotive around. Unlock the switch. You know, we got to keep those crafty trespassers from messing up our turnouts. Okay. Oh. It'd help if I left the cars behind. There we go. And we got rolling cars. So let's throw the brake. I got another connector. Hopefully you can see it there for a brake. So just something I thought about. I don't completely buy into the whole, like, I should say I do believe in some time compression. I'm not a big fan of like a 1-to-1 scale of time, matter of time. I try to do 1-to-1 scale operations as much as possible. But as far as like taking the amount of time, you know, this is not going to be an 8-hour job. In other words, I do like to compress it a little bit. I would say usually my op sessions take around like 2 to 3 hours, depending on the work. So this should take about an hour, I'm guessing. We'll see. We've been at it for about half an hour already. So we'll see. It might take maybe 4 or maybe an hour and a half. All right, let's throw that switch. Take the blue flag off for the caboose. Throw that one. A little bit more. Okay. But yeah, as I mentioned before, if you have any questions at all, just feel free to leave them there, and I'll try to get to them before I end this video. But I'm a little busy right now. All right, we're going to try to slowly couple these cars. All right, first we'll get Fred out of the way, and then we're going to move the brake, and there. So I'll leave the brake there. Okay, now we'll push forward and get that caboose back there. Get the caboose. So just a note, if anyone joined us late, I'm doing a kind of a shortened, abbreviated op session here, just switching Bellevue today. It's a follow-up from yesterday when we started switching Albright. So we'll switch Bellevue, and then after this, we'll get to Albright next, the rest of Albright. So it's a two-parter because of the different direction of switches. All right, let's go connect the cables. Got it. Check the air. Sounds good. A little brake test. All right, so I heard something click. Is it on the ground? Yes, it is. You must have had some saboteurs that get into that overnight. That's the problem when you put a caboose this far away from the yard. Okay. You never know what happens to it. So now what we're going to do is just run back past this switch and then go onto the other track, which is the main. Let's go ahead and line ourselves up for that. And put our Fred on the caboose. Push forward. Okay, so let's scope out Bellevue here before we get too carried away. Let me switch directions. Okay, so Bellevue, we got to grab this car from Bellevue Leader and swap it with this other one. Maybe we should just do that first, okay? And then we can do Payless and then save the Fun of Ash Grove Cement last, which is it right here. Well, and then obviously last is going to be DPC Industries. So we got 4 industries. All right, so let's go forward to Bellevue. All right, industry foreman. Can we go ahead and do our work here? We're ready for you. Okay, thanks. All right, throw this. We gotta throw the cars past. Okay. Got it. What I really love about urban switching, industrial switching, is just strategizing and figure out how you're going to do things. I think that's a blast. I'm going to move these out of the way to get a better view. Uh-oh. What was that? Somebody hit the ground. Huh. I don't know why. Okay. Like I said, with the live video, you're going to see everything. So I've got these little orange markers that I painted on the ties that show you where to stop the cars in times like this. They come in pretty handy. I'll try to show you one up close. But that's how I know where to stop these so I don't hit the car when I'm coming back through this turnout. So the Bellevue Leader is one of the basically only fictional industry that I have here. I used to be a paper boy for the Bellevue Leader back in the day, and so it's got a there's some sentimental value there. But these cars are actually based on the cars that used to go to the Omaha World Herald printing press in Omaha. I've got some old photos of these, of it being switched in the 80s and 90s, and they used to get these Canadian cars. So, okay, this is a little bit tricky. Let's hope. I think we got a connection there. So let's pull it out and see. Nope. Try it again. All right. There we go. For those of you who don't know, this is a B23-S7 Super 7, and the Super 7s are basically U23B rebuilds. And so I figured that the SPSF, instead of going through the SF30B program, which they only made one prototype of anyway, you know, I've got a little bit of flexibility with the SPSF merger. Who would have known exactly what they would have done with their motive power, right? So my theory is that they went ahead with this B23 Super 7 program instead. And in reality, the Santa Fe did return a lot of their, oh, a little too fast. They returned a lot of their U23Bs to GE at this time, and two of them did go into the Super 7 rebuild program. Okay, I'm gonna go forward a little bit. Past that orange marker. But I always thought the Super 7s were cool, and I just like this, you know, modern shell on an old U23B frame. It's kind of neat. One note is that you may recall that I mentioned to you in my last car shop video that I try to not run cars like this. This car, the Central Vermont car, doesn't have its details on. It's missing its ladders and handrails. But I inadvertently had already put it into JMRI Ops, and so here we are. We're running it. I mean, it runs. It's got metal wheel sets and couplers, and it meets all my standards. So it's just not my detail and weathering standard. So we'll bring it back to the yard and then hopefully get it serviced. Whew, that was pretty good. I thought it was going to run away from me a little bit. Sometimes I do a little trick where I'll uncouple it before I go in, and then I'll make it so the couplers are just, they're not connected, they're just kind of past each other, and then I'll shove it in and then I can just back right up. But I was going in too fast and forgot. So again, it's a consequence of doing too many things at once here. But anyways, just a little switching trick. Okay, so now I'm going to do Payless. So Payless, we got to grab that box car and we got to pull that box car. Okay, I know what I'm doing. Oh, hold on. Bit of a grade there. Ooh. Okay, we're going to just push it past the orange marker with the gondola there. All right, so to demonstrate this trick, the boxcar and gondola there are actually not connected. So I'm just going to back up and they should split apart. There we go. See, just like that. So that's what I usually do for the trick for spotting in the building. Like I said, I just forgot before I got too carried away. And for anyone wondering, for what I usually do with the bell is I usually use it as kind of a warning, hey, this train is about to move, and then I turn it off. Okay, industry foreman, we're coming in, and by the way, Bellevue industry foreman, we're done, so you can put your flag back. Okay, thank you. And Payless Cashways foreman, we're gonna come in if you're ready. Yep, we're ready. All right, now Payless has a special deal where they've got a gate to help keep the riffraff out. So we're gonna unlock it. And open it up. Okay. And we put the padlock here. You don't want people walking away with, big 4x8 sheets of plywood and that, whatnot. Okay. That's one of the things I love about model railroading is you get to use your imagination in all different ways. You know, whether it be a B-23 Super 7 or just pretending what goes on at an industry. It's fun. Now this place has a little break because you've got a slight grade here. Oops. All right. These are my brakes. They're just little yellow connectors that I've bent funny so they can rest on the rail and stop the wheel. Whoops. Did not mean to do that. I meant to continue. I got to get that Western boxcar out of there. Let's see, can you see that? Where are we? I don't know if you can see that. I'm aiming for this Western boxcar back here. All right, there we go. For any of you who don't know, the Western, oops, good grief. All right, try that again. As bad as the Central Vermont car. This Kepler, this Western car, not the greatest. Okay. All right, there we go. So anybody who's wondering, the Western Railway is a it was a freelance railroad by a very good friend of mine, a guy that I worked with 16 years ago, and he did his own Western Railway. I think he started it back in the 60s or a long time ago. And so I was able to get some of his cars. He passed away about 7 years ago. Hard to believe it's been that long. And so I still run some of his stuff on my layout. It's really fun to be able to do that. Okay, so now remember we gotta, okay. So, note to self, we gotta bad order this car, this Western car. Its coupler, I think, is a little too low, so we're gonna take a look at it. We'll sideline it. It's going back to the yard anyways. Wow, that was really low. Yeah, that's okay. We'll see if it works. Nope. Not much I can do about it right now. Try to get through the op session as best I can with this car. Try to take it back to the yard. But it'll definitely have to be repaired before the next session. Oh, turn that off. All right, so now what we got to do is put that Western Pacific car. We basically need to swap places, the Western Pacific car and the center beam flat car. Finishing up my now cold coffee. I don't know if you can see it in the video. There's an orange marker right there. That tells me it's safe to, I'm at the point where I can safely switch on that track. Huh. Okay. I really like scenes like this with switching over the bridge. It's kind of fun. So when I finish this Payless scene, I'm basically going to have a spot, or I should say this back here will be a building with a dock for unloading packaged lumber, or lumber that comes in the box cars. And then this will be more of a paved lot area up here for unloading the center beam flat cars on either side. That's the plan. So we're gonna put this box car back on where the dock will be, all the way to the back. There, perfect. Okay, now we're going to grab the center beam flat car and put it back where it was so it can finally get unloaded. I don't know what's taking them so long to unload a center beam flat car. How annoying. It's like, do you even want the lumber that I'm delivering? Like, do you even use it? Come on. This costs money and time. Time is money. Nice. Okay, back up, engineer. Almost said conductor. That's me. Oh wait, I'm the engineer too. Huh. All right, I'm gonna go. It's after 10 o'clock. Football games are starting. I'm gonna go change the channel. But you didn't know. Probably didn't know the conductor's got a nice little flat screen TV in the caboose, but he does. There we go. That should be a good spot. All right, sorry about that. Okay, let's get going here. We're gonna need to put the brake on again. And if others. Go, nice. All right, back up engineer, reverse, go, brake on, go off. Okay, foreman, we're all done with our work here. Hope you like where your cars are spotted, and please unload that center beam flat car already. Thank you. All right, done with our work here, so we can close this gate, lock it. Keep those creepy trespassers out of there. All right, now next. Oh, let's see. Let me do a little 050 here. What is this? No, I don't know. Let's just take this locomotive and put it over here. So the OLMB has its own little 25-ton switcher, and it doesn't have an engine in it yet. I might power it up someday, but it doesn't have a motor in it now, so I just cart it around with my hand when I want to put it somewhere. Okay, so we've got, basically what we got to do here is we got to, oops. Okay, we got to do, we'll leave that BN hopper. Wait, let's look at our clipboard. BN hopper, I think. Okay, so let's see, we pulled the CVC boxcar. We pulled the Western Railway boxcar with the low couplers. And so now at Ready Mix, we got to pull this New York Central gondola, which the New York Central is a fantasy road of another friend of mine. It's a modern New York Central thing that he does. He doesn't really do any modeling anymore, but he's been inactive for the last couple of years. And then we got Ready Mix covered hopper to pull, 307. Ooh, that's way in the back. Thanks a lot. And then we got to place the BN. The BN covered hopper goes to the off spot, which is basically anywhere past this passenger platform. And then we got to place, okay, we did that, newsprint, and then the Western Pacific car, we already did that. And we got to place the SPSF gondola here at Ready Mix. And then we got to place, respot this Ready Mix 327 that's over here from off spot to mix concrete. Okay. A bit of a puzzle here. So let's think through this. Okay, so we can do that. I think what I want to do is pull the 307 first. And we're going to need to, the caboose is just going to have to go in the middle because that's where that thing is. All right? Yep. Okay, so let's take Fred off the caboose. That switch. Okay. All right. I think we've got this figured out. I'm going to throw this switch here so the caboose backs into the industry. Okay. So, Ready Mix foreman, are you ready for us to come do your work? Yes, I am. Okay, great. Thanks. I was hoping you would say that. Now, what we're going to do here is I have a, for Ready Mix, this is a instruction. Now, what the heck? When did you start moving? That was weird. So anyways, this was left over from the last session. So basically, it's instructions for the crew where to spot their cars. And so I'm just gonna, being the industry representative and the conductor, I'm just gonna give the instruction to myself. Okay, so they would like this car back here. We're gonna swap this car out. Obviously the gondola needs to go here because this is where the bridge components are loaded. Okay, so we're gonna swap the gondolas. All right, so we're gonna shove in through here. We're gonna take this car out and then switch that car in, if that makes any sense to you. Anyways, you'll see how it goes. All right, let's start going forward. Break off. Don't have any. So I guess like this part of the line is kind of considered not the main line anymore. So I don't have the switches for the track anymore. Once we're past Gemini siding, these are all kind of just considered industry spurs, basically. So that was pretty nice. Let's make sure. Well, I guess they don't need to be connected, do they? Okay, keep going. And also carefully back into those other freight cars. Oh, son of a gun. See, I knew I would forget stuff. I should have flagged this crossing. Oh, I'm going to have an accident here, people. Okay. Crossing is protected. Keep going. All right. Inadvertently, we ran into all the cars, so let's just go ahead and couple everything up. Good there, good there. Okay, we're going to stretch the cars, make sure we got a good connection on everything. Check our air. That's good. Okay, keep going. This is the longest our train has been today. 10 cars, including the caboose. Wow, that's super long. I thought our coal train was long. All right, so what we're gonna do now is pull this entire train out, and then we're gonna put this Ready Mix 327 over there. And then once it's back there, then we'll put 307 over here so we can get it out. And then we can switch the gondolas. Speed it up a little bit. Otherwise we'll be here all day. Perfect. I don't know why you left the bell on so long. Sorry about that. All right, let's see. Any cars want to go through? Go ahead. All right, so here's our train. All right, okay, let's go back. All right, flag the crossing again. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. Oh, I'm a little too fast. Brake, brake, brake. Now these ready-mix cars are all based on prototypes. These are ones that I built and painted myself. So they're kind of fun. I designed the decals myself too. Oops. I thought we were stopped, we weren't. Okay, so this one, I hope you can see this. These are the orange markings I was telling you about. So I just want to make sure this car is just past that orange marking. I'm gonna slow down. Okay, that's good, engineer. Stop it whenever you're ready. Okay. All right, so 307 now needs to be left out, so we're going to do that next. Trying to hold this up so you get a little bit better view. Hopefully this is working. I don't have my monitor in front of me right now. All right, that's good there. This might need a break, so just go ahead and put it under there. Okay. All right, so now we'll go ahead and shove the cars that were already there that still need to be unloaded, those 3 hoppers. And then we're going to add the New York Central gondola to this line up here. So if we're slowly back into this new hopper that we just put here. Uh-oh, what did I do? Control ACC number. Okay, oops, sorry about that. I pushed the different button and now we're on the ground. See, this is what you get for multitasking. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and shove this car then past the orange marking here. And then we'll take the New York Central car and push it here. A little bit more. Okay. Thank you very much. These are actually New York Central gondolas that I did. My friend Matt gave me some New York Central decals. And I'm trying to remember. These were, I can't remember what they were before. I've changed so many things. It's kind of funny. But I don't know, was it when I was doing the Iowa Interstate gondolas or the Rock Island or the no, it couldn't be an SPSF. It might have been like modern Rock Island gondolas. Anyways, I thought, you know what would be cool is having some New York Central gondolas for this operation. Okay, take the brake off. Okay, now shove a little bit more. The cement plant, if I had to if I had to just choose one industry to model and that's it, like I don't know if you've ever heard of these one switch layouts that Lance Mindheim has talked about before and has some designs for. But if I had to do a one switch layout in just one industry, I would totally just do the cement plant because it's got so much going on. It gets sand, it gets cement, it gets gravel, it gets empty gondolas, you know, and then you get a ship bridge components, and there's a lot of stuff going on. You know what? I did a mistake. I need to leave the caboose back here too. Let's see. Actually, what I need to do. Oh yeah. Yes, I meant to do that. Okay. This is such a complicated part of the operation right now. I'm forgetting where I'm at. All right, I'm gonna put the caboose on this track, grab these cars, and then that way the caboose is still on the end. If that makes any sense at all. I think it will once I get done here. Okay. But yeah, so there's so much going on, and you know, you could do just an easy 30-minute, probably up to an hour op session on this industry alone. So, and it's only one spur. I mean, that's the cool thing about it. So if I had to just pick one industry only to do, this would be it. And I also just I like the OLMB ready mix. I like the 2-bay covered hoppers. It's got a lot of neat freight cars that I like, and a lot of variety for having just one industry. So, yep, that's what I would do. Oops, slow down. Oh, son of a gun. I didn't take the brake out. That would probably help. It's now on the ground again. Okay. See what I mean? You get to see it all with a live video. All the mistakes. But not too many. Again, it doesn't exactly help that I'm doing all of these jobs myself. That's why I like having op sessions. But I also like having a layout this size that I can actually do it myself. And you know, when I'm not videoing, it actually makes it a little bit easier because it's one less job that I have to do, right? Tying up the crossing here for a little bit, but at least this isn't a huge high volume, you know, street, so I don't think they're gonna mind. All right, now we got our shoving platform caboose back on the end of the train. Now all we have to do is put the gondola over there. And I've got a special idea in mind for our off spot. I'm gonna put it actually in another off spot location. All right, found its own break. All right, I'm gonna back these cars up to the end. Spotting here doesn't have to be precise since they've got their own switcher. What I'm gonna do is just put that like almost all the way to the end there. I'm gonna put a gap here. Leave that gondola right there. Alrighty, yay, we're done here. Took long enough, huh? Now, believe it or not, we've only got 2 more car moves to do, basically. We just need to grab a tank car at DPC Industries, and then we need to drop off that BN hopper in our train at an off spot. Because as you can see, here at the industry, there is no room for another hopper. So it's got to go to the off spot. That's what the off spot's for. It's basically, well, we've got this car for you. We don't have any room in your mailbox. So let's put it in this off spot. And then when you do have room, we'll give it to you. Because the cement plant is so busy. We could use an extra siding. Maybe we should have a chat. Our industrial development folks, which is somebody at the yard office, should have a chat and say, hey, what kind of help do you need? All right, we're going to pull this train out because we got this little 25 tonner in the way. And I'm going to 050 it, which means use my fingers, my 5 fingers, to the spur. We'll do a line of sight operation here. Don't get too close. Come on. What are you doing? You don't have to be in that big of a hurry. Okay, we got their train out of the way, or their locomotive. Now we can go to DPC Industries. Let's put our Fred on the train now that we're done switching a little bit. Yeah. Highball. So just one thing I want to point out to you. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and close this up. I have the off-spot locations marked on these industry diagrams. And so here in Bellevue, we've got 2 off-spot locations, one here, and then one in the track where we're ultimately going to leave this BN covered hopper. But anyways, that tells the crews where they should leave the off-spot car. Let's hold that here because I forgot we gotta let our conductor get the flags and get back on the train. All right, so we need to pick up at DPC Industries. We need to pick up the put that throttle down. Okay, we need to pick up the ACFX tank car. Okay, so we pulled these, the New York Central and the Ready-Mix car. We placed the SPSF gondola. So, like I said, we just need to do that to off spot. We respotted that car and then pull that one. Then we'll be done. Okay. So we have a clipboard here. It's ACFX 77371. Okay, done with the flags. All right. Let's go check out our bridge scene. This is one of my favorite things to operate. Now we got our conductor on board. There's our train there. I'll have to go over the bridge. Oh, go ahead and throw. Actually, let me see. What am I doing here? I want to grab that. Yes. Okay. Made a mistake. I started going down the industry spur. What I want to do is I'm going to drop the caboose off on this track. Now that we've made our shove. Okay. All right, so just to give you an idea, this is what we're doing here. I'm going to drop the caboose off on this track here, which is the old main line that's abandoned after this part right here. This is the last industry on the line. Basically, after this industry, it wasn't worth keeping the rest of the Rock Island track. So this would eventually go on to Lincoln and ultimately to Denver, but they abandoned the rest of it. Okay, so, right, let's just leave our caboose here. This industry doesn't have, I never did get around to painting any orange stripes. I basically just used the end of the bridge as a guide. All right, industry foreman here at DPC Industries. Are you ready for us to come in and switch? And he says, yes, go for it. Now, what I'm going to do is, eventually I'm going to have a gate lock here on one side or the other here. I think what I'm going to do is, since I switched around the industries and Albright, I was going to take that gate opening for the transload and put it here, and then put the bigger lock box that I had that used to be at US Cold Storage and put it there. So we'll just kind of pretend that we're unlocking the gate, move the blue flag. All right, let's head on in. It's a little windy there. Okay. So since we got the ACFX car that we want is in the back, we got to pull both of these out. How did you get off the rail? It's not the smoothest joint there. Whoever laid this track didn't do the greatest job. Well, what can you expect from a industry spur? No, okay. That was weird. All right, everybody's still on the rails. Okay. Okay, so these two covered hoppers here will meet up with the caboose down this way. So a weird thing about this creek, you can see it here. It's still wet. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. I thought it was done drying, but it's like still dripping a little bit. So bizarre. I use Envirotex, which is like a table laminating thing, which usually works pretty well, but it's kind of weird. Okay, that's good. So now we'll just leave our ACFX car. I didn't derail it, did I? No, okay. And then we'll respot this one. We don't have any deliveries for DPC today, so this will be it. So it's still sticky way back there on this little creek. So weird. This one I think is all dry. It's sticky back there though. I don't know. I think I was talking to a friend of mine, whoops, hello, who's used this stuff before, and he was telling me I probably didn't mix it long enough. But you can see it's pretty firm right up here at least. Oh, okay, flipped out again. Okay, well, thankfully our western car is doing okay. You know, I actually wonder, and that coupler is definitely a little low. I wonder if the Cinnabon flat car might be a little high. The combination of the two is what caused that uncoupling. So note to self, I'll take a look at both between the next stop session. Okay, so now what we need to do is grab our two cars here. Let me show you these two cars down here at the end. And then we will head back to the siding, getting close to finishing up our work today. So we're at about an hour and a half. So that's not too bad. A little bit longer actually than I thought it would be, but you know, like I said, I try to just take it easy and go slow with the work. One of the nice things about trying out the op session yourself is you kind of see what the pace is like for you, knowing that if you have a crew, it might be a little bit slower for somebody who's not done it before. On the other hand, if having two people do this job, a conductor and an engineer, plus the layout host helping, it might go a little faster. So, or it might take about the same amount of time. Oops. I have to check my connection. Okay. All right, now we're ready to head back across the creek one last time. We've got the switch line for the main, so that's good. Lock the gate, tell the industry foreman, hey, we're done. Okay, I'll reset the blue flag. Thank you. Thanks for taking our car. All right, now let's catch up to our train down here at the crossing. Since we're not reverse shoving, we don't need to use the flags here. Uh-oh. We got our problem boxcar again. So what I'll do when I bring this train back into the yard, instead of putting that Western car into my storage drawers, it'll just go straight to the, basically it'll just go straight to the workbench, and then I'll measure the couplers. There you can see my Envirotex box. I've got one more creek to do, and I should have enough for that. All right, so what I'm going to do is basically stop our train when we get past that orange dot there. Start slowing it down here. And well, I guess actually once you get past this switch, then we'll throw the caboose up there, and then we'll put the BN hopper up there as well. I think we're past the switch, right? It's close. It is kind of refreshing to do a long run like that after stop and go, or should I say back and forth, and finally do a bit of a longer run. Oops. I think what I need to do is I've got the orange markings here. I need to just move them back there because you're not really going to stop here. I mean, you could stop a car there if you're running on here, but I think you need to have it back there. So yeah, I can change that next time, or someday I'll get to that. All right, so we'll bring our troublesome Western car just past the turnout over here. Let's pass this turnout and then shove our Beyond hopper back there. One car length, start slowing down, half the car length, apply the brakes, a little bit more, quarter of a car length. All right, that should be good. Thank you, sir. So this little spur back here is basically an abandoned industry, or I should say it's like a customer or an industry that doesn't get rail service anymore. So basically we're using this spur for kind of non-revenue purposes now. It's kind of handy to have a little spur back here anyways. Like I said, it works out well to stage the caboose here because it works out nicely for the oops, slow down. It works out really nice for the shoving back through Bellevue into DPC Industries. All right, we'll push that back just a little bit, safely out of the way, half the car length. Okay. Grab our Fred. We're going to put Fred on the back of this tank car. That'll be the end of the train now. EOT, the end of train. Let's see. All right, so now we got 5 cars in our train. I like these short local freights. I don't know, it's just, they've always fascinated me. When I go out and do rail fanning myself, which I really like catching these locals. They're hard to find though, right? Because even though they usually have fairly reliable schedules, but still you don't really know like exactly where they're at, and you have to go down these interesting spurs and see if the train is there. And if you only have like one train and it doesn't operate there every day, it could be really hard to find, especially when you've got other things going on in life. Okay, now the only thing we got to do is close up the switches and return our turnouts back to normal. So we'll do that. Get into the Gemini siding here. And also be sure to put our blue flag here for these cars so they don't get moved. Oopsies. Sorry, tree. Okay. Lock that. Keep those vandalizers off our property, hopefully. Or at least help prevent vandalism. And another off-spot option is always the siding, but I like to keep that open because usually the first thing you do when you come back here and switch Bellevue is a runaround move, so try to keep it open for that. Whew. It was a close one. Okay. There's that corn stalk I found on the floor. Okay, we're gonna tie up the crossing here for a minute because I gotta, now that I'm out of the switch, I can throw it back to the main, lock the switch. And I think we got time for another rail fan shot. A nice view. All right, eyeball. Okay, hold on. Should have turned the bell off. Conductor's got to turn this off, then hop back on the train, which I forgot to let him do. Yeah. Like I said, it's hard multitasking. Hey, you're back.
What happened to the video?
All right, I'm doing a live video. I'm just about done switching.
Oh yeah, it's a live video.
Yeah, see, you can see yourself on the monitor.
Oh yeah.
All right, so all we have to do now is find a spot to park our train in the yard.
I'll go check if there's any comments.
Yeah, I think there are a few. We'll have to respond to them before we wrap. Let's see.
One said, good morning. I have enjoyed your last video with your helpers. One said that. Keep doing a live video. Wanna come see yourself? See? Okay.
All right, so we're going to stop the train here at the Washington Street signal. Let our conductor flip the signals. Oops, there we go. Turn the bell off and not the horn. Okay. So I think we're going to line ourselves up for track 3, which is totally open here. Oh, actually, we already are lined up for track 3. Okay, that works. Normally what we do here is kind of stop the train after crossing the signal, let the conductor switch it back. You can see all my ballast tools back there. There's the glue, the water bottle, some stuff that I use for the ballast. Mix it in. All right, cars, and go back through. All right, let's get a view of the yard here. Roll in on track 3. So generally what I do, I basically have 3 tracks here on this yard. It's just a small kind of relay yard. It's not technically a relay yard because, the train doesn't stay intact. It doesn't come in here, stop, and then just relay to the industry or whatever. It does get a little bit of switching, but it's not a full yard where a lot of interchange happens. So what I try to do is basically have a track for like UPBN transfers and then another track for the SPSF transfers. So then that way when it goes up to the larger yard, it's a little bit easier to switch. So, that was interesting. Why did you stop? Huh. Well, that's weird. I've never had that happen before. Okay, we'll take our fret off, put it back here, and see if we get this locomotive running again. Huh. Well, that's bizarre. Well, there we go. Well, for some reason the sound stopped, but I actually had it stopped. I don't know. Stuff like that. It seems like you never know. Something like that will come up. It's like this yard has been in place for a couple of years now, and I've never had an issue like that before. But who knows? There's always little electrical gremlins that show up. But anyways, as I was about to say, we actually had a pretty smooth op session without any problems. The only problem that we had was that Western car, and then there was a little minor derailment over at DPC Industries. But other than that, things ran pretty well today. So I think I'm just gonna park this locomotive over here by the yard, so it's ready to do the rest of the work. Actually, I think I'm just gonna stop it right here. So the next thing I need to do is pull out the cars for the next Albright job. Which is basically that line of SPSF cars, SPSF and Western cars. So basically what we did today, we finished pulling that car. We placed that BN car to the off spot, and then we did we put those back in the yard. So let's see, which ones already went? We didn't do those yet. TP and W cover hoppers there already, and then we did all those others: CVC, ACFX, Western, New York Central, Ready Mix. What's up?
Nothing.
Okay. All right, so the next job that we're going to do, which I won't get to today, will be the next video. We'll do a, we'll pull those 3 cars from standard distribution and place those 4 cars that's on that track 2 back there to standard distribution. So yeah, that'll be next. So that should be pretty simple. It's just one industry. Still a lot of work on that one, but all right. So we'll end the video here, the live video. I'm gonna come do your questions next though. So let's see how we can do this. But that's basically the end of the op. So like that took almost not quite 2 hours actually for that segment. Hold on, I get my tethered stuff here. Okay. Nope, not yet.
We're gonna go have lunch at her house.
Oh, okay.
Go or not?
No, thanks. Have fun. All right, so try to. Okay, so here you can see the little old control center. I'm kind of moving this out because this computer is now too old to connect to the Wi-Fi. But anyways, this is the old control center that I used JMRI for, and then the yard and everything else back there. Okay, so let me get to your questions. So again, thanks for everybody who just said hi, and glad that you liked the last video. Also, thanks again for letting me know that the video wasn't backwards as I thought it was. Yeah, you can definitely catch the rest of the video later if you weren't able to watch the whole thing. This will be up on the YouTube channel. So let's see. And for the Railfan Man about the car drawer system, if you look through my previous videos, I did another video where I showed I tried to talk about how I built drawers and what I use them for. Detroit Custom Saber says, why do you have real locks near your switches in your yard? Do they have a purpose? So it's something that I mentioned at the beginning of the session is that these locks, which you see one right here, anywhere there's a switch from the main line, I have a lock to basically keep it locked for the main line through running. And then anytime the crew wants to turn the switch, they have to come by and unlock this first. And then, as I mentioned, it's just a way to hopefully prevent vandalism or somebody trying to foul the system. And let's see, hello, wait to the party, watch the replay. Yep, that works. Mark, so that was fun. I'm working at the same time. This was a happy distraction. Oh, that's good. I'm glad I could be. Yeah, it's a video this long, like 2 hours. It's probably hard to sit intently and watch the whole thing. So, and there's definitely some lull moments, which is why I don't usually do these kind of live videos or videos this long. But I thought it would be fun to kind of demonstrate. Another thing I'd like to do sometime in the future is when I do have like an op session with actual people over here, is I will do. I'd like to, show that live, and then that might be fun, so you can see how other operators handle it, and then I can, focus on videoing versus having to do the conductoring and stuff like that. Very cool, nice job, thanks DPT 3001. And JMRI off spots, do you set them up as second spurs at a location or yards? SoCal scale models, I believe they're technically a yard, if I remember correctly, how they're set up. I'd have to go back through that. Let me double check that, and I'll post a reply for you. I'll reply to your comment. But yeah, I believe they're basically a yard, and then you set them up that if there's somehow you can set them up so that if there's no room at the spur, they can go there first. They don't have to. So a car can just go directly to an industry if they want to. So like that gondola, for example, we just delivered straight to Ready Mix, but the other one, the spur or the covered hopper, had to go to the off spot first because there wasn't any room left in the spur. So So yeah, I think it's basically a yard because the car just goes through there, and in Jammerai there's a difference between yards and a spur, because the spur is basically where the car will have its its load swapped. It'll switch between loaded and empty, and then this is an option for it to just kind of go through, but it'll keep, for example, it'll keep its load until it gets to the customer. I saw you had them set up as a yard. I initially did mine as a spur, and it did seem to work. Okay, that's cool too. One thing with JMRI, there's a few different. Sometimes there's ways. There's more than one way to do different things, and so you just kind of play around with it and get it to work the way that you want it to. And so it's a very flexible program. I really like it. It's super easy. And then I'm going to do another video after the next ops video where we switch Albright. I'm going to do another video and show you what I do after my op session, and it's super easy to set up for the next op session. I mean, you can do it in less than 30 minutes pretty much. So, and JMRI really helps with that, helps make it easy. So, okay, I think that's it. If you have any other questions at all, especially people that might be watching this later, feel free to drop a comment. I'll get to it. And as you can see here, I had my tethered system for both the camera and the throttle, since my proto throttle is out of service right now. I hope to get that back in service soon and get it back in action because it's fun to use. But yeah, hopefully the video was okay. I guess I'll check it myself here. Hopefully you could hear me for the most part too. And thanks for anybody who stayed the whole 2 hours. Actually, we're just another minute and we'll be 2 hours exactly. So thanks for joining me, and let me know if you like this, if you want to see more live videos. It's a little bit challenging for me because, especially finding a solid time block like this to do a video, I kind of like just making the short ones, but definitely let me know if you want to see more or what else you want to see. So thanks everybody for watching and coming aboard today, and hope maybe you're able to pick up some things from watching the ops. And yeah, I always like seeing how other people do their ops, and I always get ideas, so it's fun to learn other things and grow. So all right, well, with that, I think I'm going to stop the video here, and thanks again, and I'll see you next time. I'll have another video up next Friday. All right, I'll catch you later, guys. Yes, and all right, bye.